This is the Everybody Speaks podcast. You are listening to your host, Ray Reddy. I'm here with a good friend of mine, a traveling comedian, funny man.
Not really traveling comedian, but...
Well, at this point, you've traveled quite many places across the world. A friend of mine that, if you know Everybody Eats, he does have the most click views on our page, both Instagram and TikTok. He amassed our first 100,000 view thing. Some would say that he is a psychedelic connoisseur and enthusiast, a wizard, a knowledgeable man. I'm here with my friend Steven Belkowski.
Thank you for having me, Ray. And thank you for housing me for the past 2 days, as I just...
Optimistic from afar. Here's a long call from heaven to give these hard-earned scars. It's a long road to Virginia. Hope you come my way. It's a long road to Virginia. Lord, I'm thinking I might stay.
That's the thing, you can do it yourself, but then when you get somebody else, what you really need to do is, like, find some kid at VCU, get him to work for exposure. So you don't pay him dick, and he's an intern, and you just shit on him all the time. And you fucking, it's like, it's a nice little social, like, he builds good character because of it. And then, you just got two heads working on one project. So.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. And it's like, now that I've done this once or twice, doing little things like taking that off so I don't get the ringing of the bells, running around constantly. Yeah, that's your caller, ma'am. She jumped up in the last one as well because it was like a 2-hour conversation, so we were just riffing. They get into it, but no, it's that is a possibility of eventually. The craziest thing is, and if anything, I'm probably going to use ChatGPT to help me like write the business proposal part of it. But getting an intern from VCU or U of R, having them be last time I was at a concert, I happened to take a little bit of enlightenment portabellas that grow out of the ground.
Portobellos are trash.
Portabellas, and in the middle of the concert I was like, I could totally hire a VCU student just to start filming and editing everything I do and make it into a live stream.
Did you actually use some kind of portobello, or are you just saying that because you
they're
don't
magic
want to
mushrooms.
Okay.
Magic mushrooms.
Yeah. Portobello's the worst fucking mushroom.
Well, but it's it's my like go-to not even a slight term, but I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm portobello guy.
Yes,
portobello. So
yeah,
people are like, oh, portobello's mushrooms. Oh, okay, I see where he's going with this. But it's like a thought I've had of hiring an intern, not to do the bitch stuff, but especially with the younger kids being technologically inclined, totally would love to do it. Even if I'm not getting paid, if I'm throwing them like $10 an hour for summer credits or some shit, the way I looked at it before, it literally says all you have to do is have some type of educational purpose to what they are doing.
Yeah.
And as I see it, it's media and production, which is easy. They're filming and doing all that stuff. But then it goes into the ins and outs of like, I probably have to fill out some paperwork to get the grant money and stupid shit like that.
Yeah. But the point is, it's like you're not going to be successful unless you're exploiting people. So the more people you can exploit, the better.
When you happen to you mentioned it the other day, you're a bit of a shaman.
You mentioned
that Martin and I would have some type of falling out.
I'm a bit of a shaman.
No. Well, I just mean that you keep having these things where you see and they come into existence and like.
Oh, you and Martin had a falling out?
No, but I've definitely moved. You said that one of us was gonna have to cut the other one out. Thankfully,
I was fucking joking.
Well, yeah, but I mean, not saying I'm hungry about content. Martin's a little less hungry. As soon as I cut him out of it, and I didn't cut him out, I was like, hey, I'm pushing.
As soon as you stabbed him in the back.
As soon as I told him, I was like, I want to start pushing my own things. He made his own page called Everybody Starves, and I was like, dude, this is going to get worse. But then, and I broke it down to him. I was like, look, man, I get that, like, I get on you for being a wild card all the time, all these different things, but like, sometimes I just need help formulating my own ideas. It's not even me saying no, and it's just me kind of like horse blinders focusing on what I need to do rather than like helping everyone else eat and not eating myself. And so,
Martin, if you're watching this, you're a fucking piece of shit.
He's definitely Martin. I love the support because he's one of the people. Even if he doesn't commenting, helping the algorithm style of it, and listening to shit. I mean, it does a little bit of everything. But now, what was the other thing? You mentioned something last week about seeing, or it was yesterday, about manifesting something. And it was very much like a vision, like...
Man, I don't talk about manifesting and shit. That wasn't me, dog. I don't really believe in God like that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, to be honest, because I'm not going to go out here and say I don't believe in God, but I am not as much of a believer of there being some religious type figure, more so that there may be a higher spirituality. But I don't like to label him or give him a name. It's like, I mean, I believe in good karma. If you're a good person, whoever the fuck that's organizing this shit, game master, looks out for people that got good karma. That's my thoughts. What's your religious aspects? What do you think?
I think that there's the short story, The Egg by Andy Weir. And that's pretty much just, after the first time I read it, I was like, that sounds pretty fucking solid to me. I don't know what religion this is, but I'm going to adopt it as my own. And basically the concept is that we're all just like the same like spiritual entity living out its life during, different times and stuff, and we're all just interacting with ourselves to like basically learn how to like cohabitate and yada yada and all that stuff and evolve.
Okay, I mean I dig it in that, like when you say all of us, is that like animals included and stuff like that? Or
Nah, fuck animals.
Do you believe that
Except my cats.
Animals are spirits of people that come back, or do you have any? Because like I part of me thinks that like we're in this cycle and that like some souls have lived more, experienced more.
I bet. I'm sure you could like I can't say for sure that I know, but if I don't see why animals could not fall under that same life force.
I had an English teacher that was
also,
adamant.
are we supposed to be mic'd or something?
No, we're mic'd right now. I got this guy. I got the guy in the middle. I was trying to push the other ones. They were giving me too many problems, and so I was like, "Fuck it. If anything, we'll just go with this little guy." I was trying to hook it up over there. It didn't quite work, but
that's a dab utensil. I thought this was a joint.
No, it's what used to be.
Kind of fucking
I don't know if it's
saran wrap paper did you use? Yeah.
But it used to be a little glass piece I was using as a poker, and then the glass piece broke off, and so I was like, I don't want to stab myself at the back end, but it works. But that being said, I had an English teacher in high school. This is a Catholic high school.
Me too. That's crazy.
She was adamant that she, in a past life, was a fish.
Nice.
She had this reoccurring dream that she would just be swimming.
Nice.
And just was like, yeah, definitely, like, on the goldfish vibes. And I was like, yeah, I can see. I don't know anything more, but I mean, I don't know.
She seemed like super ADHD, kind of dumb.
No, not even. It was more the kind of like, I'd say, and I don't mean to like, but it's like the schizo where like she probably just has some crazy schemes going on in her head that make sense to her and only her.
You want to give her a shout out in case she's watching?
I forget her name. But
she'll know. But
no, I mean, I'm trying to think of. I don't even know if I know her name. And it's bad that like, is it bad that I remember my hot English teacher's name? And she may or may not have had a breast enhancement prior to becoming our senior year English teacher.
Yeah. I don't think that teachers should be legally allowed to have, like, breast enhancements.
Body enhancements? Well, I mean...
Reduction, probably.
But what about... But does it not make education more interesting to some of these kids?
I don't think it makes education happen nearly as much, no. I don't think they're learning or paying attention quite as well.
Who do you think is getting more across to students though, an ugly teacher or an attractive teacher?
An ugly teacher.
Bullshit. And I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say bullshit. I had some great ugly teachers. They really helped. But I feel like attractive teachers get the attention more. Sometimes they're not as good of a teacher.
I feel like a lot of times that's when kids want to like act out and try to impress them and stuff.
You're not one, and depending on how chill they are. Shout out Greg Monroe. This one teacher sucked ass, and he won a bunch of awards. I'm not even sure how, but like he was the chillest guy ever. And then they would come in and do the audits, and you'd be like, "Yo, man, all right, guys, next week we got to be on tip-top shape. They're gonna be come checking my shit, like blah blah." And we'd all be in line having a good day, and then as soon as they would leave, it'd just be fucking chaos. He wouldn't control shit, and so. That being said,
Yeah.
We are listening to the Everybody Speaks podcast produced by Everybody Eats.
I am doing intro right in the fucking tail. What are we 10 minutes into the stop also?
No respect. No, we're good. She's ripping.
Alright, whatever. Fucking do your thing. I'll go shit.
This is the Everybody Speaks podcast. You are listening to your host, Ray Reddy. I'm here with a good friend of mine, a traveling comedian, funny man.
Not really a traveling comedian, but...
Well, at this point, you've traveled quite many places across the world. A friend of mine that, if you know Everybody Eats, he does have the most click views on our page, both Instagram and TikTok. He amassed our first 100,000 view thing. Some would say that he is a psychedelic connoisseur and enthusiast, a wizard, a knowledgeable man. I'm here with my friend Steven Belkowski.
Thank you for having me, Ray. And thank you for housing me for the past 2 days as I just, kind of... I gave you more of a heads up this time, right?
Yeah. No, it was 72 hours. About.
72 hours?
I want to see you called
I told
me.
you before I was even on the way.
It was either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning that you were coming Thursday night by 11 p.m. So I was like, I have some time to think about this.
Cool.
I did not... My mom told me that she was coming down, and I hadn't registered that you were coming down as well until after.
Your
but
mom
I was
totally could have still came through.
When I had this conversation with Martin, I love my mom, but she's been coming down here a lot, and it's been... I dig it, but she's becoming more local to Richmond. Mm-hmm. And so it's like once or twice a week, she's just coming by to like come hang out. And
She's
I'm like,
single or like...
no, she just remarried and then
nice.
just retired, or is in the process of retiring. And so she's been... It's honestly...
Marriage, I mean.
I mean, all of it, to be honest. The new marriage, the retiring, like she is hitting that point in her life where she's kind of relaxing a little bit more.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say she should be relaxing. She has more free time on her hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the more free time is resulting in her trying to be more involved in my life. And I love it because she's a beautiful woman, very great, but also it's like 7:30 in the morning on Saturday and she's like, "Yeah, what are you doing? Let's go for a walk." I'm like, "Yo, lady, like I'm just waking up. You gotta give me a couple hours." And like, after the second or third weekend she's come down here, I'm like, "All right, lady, like I just kind of want to watch soccer."
Lady, dog.
Hey, lady.
Mom, meatloaf.
Mom, I'm with my friends. Gosh.
Good times.
But no, it's a solid one for those curious. This is episode 5.
Nice.
Why am I wearing my poncho? Because it happens to be Cinco de Mayo as well. It's also why we're drinking tequila high noons. But respect.
The national drink of Mexico.
No, and what other better way to gentrify it than wearing a fleece tie-dye poncho and drinking Americanized tequila margaritas?
Yeah. This I was just wearing by coincidence. It was gifted to me.
It looks like a rug, to be honest.
It's pretty fucking tight. I'm not
It looks windproof. I mean, where'd you get it?
It's definitely not wind resistant at all. It was a gift. I just saw a friend last night, and then was given this, and then boom.
Well, Steve, okay, let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Steven originates from the 757, the peninsula area to be specific.
Technically, I originated from North Dakota, but I grew up in the 757 for the most part.
And then, after going to Hampton, Sydney for, I think it was like a year or two, you ended up making a big journey. A journey across the country.
I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff between that, but...
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cut to the chase. That's filler. The people don't want to know about that.
Yeah,
I want to know why did you cross the country? What was on the other side? Why did Steven cross the country?
Like, reality, I was chasing my ex-girlfriend out there, but the excuse was that I'd been doing stand-up for a few years, and it was like either move to New York or LA, and weed was legal in California, so I was like more stoked about that, and so rolled up out there. Ended up getting into the cannabis industry after like a year. Was doing comedy kind of very minimally, but it was fun, and I got some cool stories. And then Yeah, then at one point, yeah, my ex like moved back, and I was like, "Damn, am I gonna move back?" And I was like, "Oh shit, did I really just chase this chick out there?" But I was super deep in the cannabis industry by that point, so I was like, I don't really want to walk away from that. And then, yeah, then I did.
Decent. And so I guess that was L.A. and now I know you spent some years out in Vegas.
No, I spent last summer in Vegas. I was helping build the mushroom grow up. And then I went to Burning Man, and then we got delayed there because of the rain. And then I like kind of just stayed an extra week in Reno without telling my bosses. And then when I came back, a friend of mine had passed away, so then I took another week off to go to a funeral. And then I came back, and they were like, "Hey, so we don't really have hours for somebody who is gonna, just be taking months off at a time." And I was like, "That's fair." And then, I moved in with some friends in Tahoe, and been up there since.
Decent. Tahoe's a beautiful area as well.
Oh, it's sick.
Traveled a little bit out there, and I mean, for those who don't know as well, I went out and visited Steven in Arizona and Las Vegas last season,
and
he
he fucking pissed on me in my sleep.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly. He fucking, I had a brand new fucking tent, dog. There was nothing else was wet. If I could tell the people what you fucking did.
All right, see, it's unbiasedly.
Tell the fucking truth right now, dog.
Unbiasedly. This was my first time ever in the chateau. It was the Red Rocks. Speaking of, I actually have. I hope this isn't a crime, but I have a rock from the Red Rocks.
Oh yeah, that's crime.
But we both drank a large amount of seltzers. I should say I drank a bunch actually, and was not prepared for the altitude, and so I got shithoused real quick, and amongst other things, hyperextended my knee, got lost.
Ray has
met some cool people.
Fucking bladder of a squirrel. Also.
Yeah.
It was a 4-hour drive. We stopped 4 times. He peed each time. It was.
I'll always get it out, especially peeing. But, and so, night one, I'm as lit as a light, as a Christmas tree up in the sky, and all that I know is that I was in the tent, and when I woke up and was cognizant, I yelled at Steven to let me out of the tent or I would piss on him.
No.
That's all. When I was cognizant. When I was cognizant.
Okay.
I was not cognizant of the first time that allegedly.
Rewind to him being drugged. I'm like waiting for him at the porta potty every 45 fucking minutes. And at one point, I'll start talking to people in line, and then Ray will just come barreling in and be like, "Hey, don't listen to the thing this guy says. He's a fucking piece of shit." And then boom. Then we walk off, nice conversation room. They're like, "Oh, yeah." And at one point, I stopped by the Harmony tent, or Harmony Project, or whatever, to talk to these chicks about.
Shout out Harmony Project as well. If you ever
shout out Rachel.
Harm reduction. If you go to festivals and stuff, find the harm reduction tent. Talk to them because they have so much information. Steve was talking to people about
some of them. Rachel knew what the fuck she was talking about. The other, I'm pretty sure it was Rachel. Might have been Ashley was her name, but I think it was Rachel.
Nevertheless, it's
I
irrelevant
digress.
part of the
so
story.
I'm talking to this chick, and Ray's like, "I'll meet you back at camp." He walks off. I leave 30 minutes later, and then get back to camp. Ray's not there, and then I get a call from Ray, and he goes, "Steve, I'm fucking drunk. I don't know where the fuck I am." And I was like, "Where are you?" He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "Come find me," and then just hangs up. And then I go fucking find him. We walk back to camp.
I don't remember you finding me.
I remember
walking in circles by the porta potty. Steven, the problem was that I initially exited with the car line, so I walked out to a highway first.
Yeah.
And then I cut back over, and by the time I got into the campsite,
it was a driveway, not
I got thrown into this loop. And I was sitting there, and I literally walked the loop 3 times while having to piss.
And then I came in, and
I don't remember.
It was porta potties, so I picked you up right by fucking porta potties. And then we got
the porta potty. I think by the time you found me at the porta potties, I knew where I was. As I would say that, because I was lost in a like one of those back corners of the campsite where literally I just kept going to the right, kept going to the right, and we were like 2 stations to the left.
Okay.
I finally walked all the way back out and then back into the thing, and I was like, all right, I know where I am. But I don't doubt that you met me at the porta potties next.
It's like crazy that your memory's so good about this part, but
well, yeah, because I was in fight or flight mode. I couldn't find my
really
10.
Hazy moments. All right, so
I couldn't find my 10.
It starts raining. We're asleep in the tent. I wake up and my fucking blanket is soaked. Ooh. And I'm pissed because I think my tent's leaking. I'm like, what the fuck? And then Ray is off his cot on the other side of the tent. It's like 7-person tent. He's leaning against mine. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and he like wakes up and is all disheveled. And then like he's like, huh, what's going on? And goes back over. There's a ton of stuff like dividing us between it, right? And I'm pissed because I think all this rain is falling in on me. And then an hour later, I get woken back up while still soaking wet to Ray going, Steve, I can't get out. I can't get out of the fucking tent. And I'm like, unzip it. And he was like, I can't unzip. Where's the zipper? I'm like, it's down where you're reaching at. And he goes, I'm just going to piss in the tent. So casually, like he fucking done this shit before.
It was not casual at all.
It was so.
I said,
who even brings that up?
If you don't help me open this fucking tent right now, I'm gonna piss right here on the
say
floor.
That. You
well,
said
I know.
No. You said
I was cognizant of this one because I went to fight or flight mode. I went fight or flight mode. I was about to pee in the fucking tent. My anxiety was through the roof because I'm not gonna pee in the tent.
Hey, listen, you don't have to post this episode if you don't want to.
I'm just saying. The facts are. This is something I would remember is sitting here about to piss myself and saying, Steve, because I sat here and hit the mosquito net like 10 times and I was like, where the fuck is it? Meanwhile, it's all the way at the bottom on the other side, so I had to go down. I unzip it all. I stepped 2 steps outside the tent, and then I pissed right there on the ground. And I did not pee on Steve. I was very angry about almost pissing in the fucking tent. And so that's where, in my theory, with being cognizant an hour later,
actually trying.
Why would I?
Are you actually trying to fucking defend it? All right.
I just don't see it happening.
So then, how did this water get into the tent that has now never leaked since? When there was no spilled basins in there, no water bottles with that enough liquid to
Wait a second. You don't know this. There's water bottles all over the place. You had beers all over. There's empty beers. No. Yes. Halfies, floaters. Yes. No. 100%.
There was not a beer would not have soaked a fucking comforter, Ray.
A full beer that's sitting in your hand and when you fall asleep.
Do you want to put it to the test right now?
Mythbusters. Mythbusters. Plausible.
Grab your fucking comforter.
It's plausible.
And dump you 1,000%. All right, Ray also came up to me during Grizz and fucking. Right,
2 days later. So 2 days later.
No,
a day later.
So that morning. I'm thinking, I think this dude fucking pissed on me. Because there were no water bottles around.
No knowledge.
Because there were no open containers in the fucking tent. The bong was still full. There was no other explanation for this shit except for, and he'd been drinking mad seltzers, so his piss was just like straight up clear. So it wasn't going to have any kind of yellow fucking thing, which is initially why I was giving him benefit of the doubt, but I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, I feel like this dude might have fucking pissed on me. Also, it was fucking warm, and then
Steve
fucking
could have peed himself.
Ray, as I'm having this thought, says he's like, hey, so hypothetically, if I like did piss on you, and I'm like, oh my fucking, this motherfucker fucking pissed on me, and then hours later that night at the Grizz set, he goes to the bathroom, he comes back, he goes, hey Steve, I was thinking about it, and yeah, I think I definitely pissed on you. I'm like, I know you fucking...
remember what the hypothetical thought was?
He gave me a new fucking, his blanket because the guilt consumed him.
I didn't need the blanket.
I get it.
Do you remember what the hypothetical thought was of why I would have peed on you if
It'll be weight off your shoulders if you just like...
Do you remember what I said?
Do you know what justifies pissing on someone in their fucking sleep, Ray?
It's just a shame. It's a shame you didn't listen, because the principle is if it were to have happened, the part that made me laugh the most was that I got so drunk that first night, and not saying you pissed me off, but you slowing me down the first 2 days, and then making us miss the first 2 songs. We missed the Prob Cause Krishiva set. We missed Distinct Motive. We missed all these things. I thought to myself, while on acid in the porta potty,
why did you miss those sets?
I could have been
Why
so
did you
drunk
miss those sets?
that I am frustrated at Steve that I could have pissed on him because I was blacked out. And that was the thought that I said. Allegedly.
All right. So here's the thing. Why that's fucking insane.
Hypothetically.
All right.
Had it happened, we planned to leave Las Vegas at 4 p.m. We did not leave the city of Las Vegas until 9:45. We got to the edge of the world at 3 a.m. I woke up at 9 a.m., took a shit, walked about a half mile, did some sightseeing, woke you up at 10 a.m. because we had to go meet someone to sell tickets. And then as soon as I woke you up, you said, "What the fuck, blah, blah, blah." And so then we went in there, I sold my tickets. We got there. I tried getting ready. I bowed you. Don't get me wrong.
Dude, this is a bunch of stuff that's not as fun of a story, and it's just
that's fine because people don't look at the facts. People don't look at the facts. It's like if you're an asshole all weekend, and then I get blackout, and in my blackout rage, I'm angry, and so I pee on you. I think that lays into like if someone's an asshole, drunk thoughts are sober, drunk actions are sober thoughts. Like, I'm sorry you were an asshole and I peed on you.
Yeah.
It's also the Northwoods law. You pee on something to set your territory, and at that point, like, I brought you to it with a festival ticket, like, you were also
the fact that you keep I got your festival ticket to a festival I didn't want to fucking go to right after I came off Burning Man.
The burn obviously set you. Coming off the burn was a different.
My thing is,
I think had you not gone to the burn, it would have been
different. Like when we got there, none of the sets had started yet. You could have made any set at any point. So I think it's ludicrous that you're like, oh, we missed these sets because I'm like, bro, I didn't fucking miss shit. Like anything that you wanted to have gone to, you could have fucking gone to at any point.
Well, yeah,
and also
I mean, as a
the
friend,
fact that you're like,
you
missed a set, and then because of that, you think that it's cool to piss on somebody in their sleep. If it was malicious,
did I do it?
I didn't think it was malicious.
Conscious?
I think you were just fucking drunk and just thinking
that you were pissing sober and conscious? No, I have no idea. I don't remember it at all. So this is why it's all alleged. This is your word versus anything. Yeah, so at that point, if I don't see it happen,
well, I believe victims. So
it's like if a bear shits in the woods, did anyone see it happen? Like, you know. If no one saw it happen, you were the only one that was in that tent with eyes open, allegedly letting me pee on you, which would be weird that you didn't say anything in the moment.
If a bear shits in the woods and then you walk in and find his shit is all over your tent, then like, maybe a bear did shit in the woods, right?
All I'm saying is it's all alleged. It's all alleged until proven guilty in the court of law. Every person is innocent.
Bladder of a fucking squirrel.
And that is something I will concede. I do have I am a bit of a diuretic.
Yeah.
Drinking coffee, drinking seltzers do not help.
Yeah.
But you know what? In the ode to staying positive and changing the conversation, Steven, I am going to have you pull a card. It's from this game I got at the thrift store called Where Should I Begin? And they're random. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, except for, what does it say? You can get another one if you want.
You're supposed to guess the card, right? I remember the card and then I put it back into the deck. And then you gotta shuffle it up.
If you want a different card, you can get a different card.
I'm tempted to break my own rules when it comes to.
Oh, do you break any of your own rules, Steven?
No. Yeah, no, of course. I break most of my rules. I would say eating healthy. That's a good one. Boom.
Not bad. I mean, I've been bad because I've been trying to work out more, and then I freaking go to Hippie Sabotage on Tuesday. Shout out Hippie Sabotage, by the way. That shit was lit. And then I don't go to the workout on 6 a.m. and I'm like, damn, I totally should have worked out this week. And then Sunday rolls around and my soccer game gets canceled, and I'm like, damn, that's missed cardio there. I might need to get some more work in. And so, I mean, it's on the reverse side, I guess, Steven, what is your favorite rule to break? And they could be rules of not your own, of laws, to be honest. Some people, and like, it's interesting how once it's comfortable we get with.
It says your own rules, right?
What says I'm tempted to break
my own rules.
Yeah, and
so it does have to be your own rules.
Well, this one I said this is a secondary question. What's your favorite rule to break? It doesn't have to be your own. Like some people park in handicap spaces, and I hate that.
That's a good question. My favorite rule to break. I mean, honestly, I think like the usage. I mean, you were talking about portobellos instead of just saying mushrooms or shrooms or whatever. But I think it's cool to go to states that have like stricter drug laws. especially when you like have or like you're taking mushrooms or whatever, smoking, yada yada. Because it's almost like going back in time. It's like, oh shit, it's like a bigger deal if I get caught with this stuff now.
Nah, and I don't know. That one's an interesting one because it's like if I ever go to like North Carolina, I'm not allowed to openly be a stoner. I mean, you can, but like you can't. That's their laws are more strict. Yeah, but I had a friend. I mean, I had a friend that got pulled over down there for some weed laws, and then she had to go all the way back down there for court. And it's like our buddy Tina when he was in Tennessee for what was the festival? I think he was going to Electric Force or something, and they got pulled over in Tennessee and had to go back to Tennessee to go handle the charges. And it's like it's that high school style where you do have that.
So also you
that
shouldn't
urge.
be just throwing people under the bus. Just bleep his name out.
I mean, they already know. He's already declared that he's never going back to Tennessee. Cause,
Yeah, but I don't think he declared that. He wants to fucking put him on blast on your podcast.
As if anyone will ever listen to it, to be honest.
It's Tino will if I tell him he's mentioned on it.
Oh, and certain people, I was surprised. The first episode we put out had 60 views, and then that was within the last month, and then we got another one I'm editing in the moment to do a couple. I mean, it's interesting. I'm just getting more and more comfortable with these. We're gonna get some more. I wouldn't say all over, but like I have to concede that my first 3 guests have all been white males. I gotta change it up a little bit. And it's like I wanna spice it up.
Got to get somebody who's like transracial.
All right. That's a possibility, but no, definitely get some females on here, get some color. To be honest, I mean, I feel like that's probably bad of me to say it like that, but like
get some color,
but like flavor. Like I want to get
maybe
some.
go ahead, edit that.
I want to open up the perspectives that are getting in here, and this is my house, and it's dope that I built a little studio in here. But that being said, it is building a platform to be for everybody. Decent, man. So I guess one of your favorite things, you talk a lot about it, is Burning Man. And forgive me if this is like a Fight Club thing if you're not supposed to talk about it on the internet or like, but like when did you first go to Burning Man? What was it like?
2022.
Okay, and how many have you been to?
2021. It was the Renegade, so it wasn't like an official one, and then I was in the every year since, the 2 years since.
Okay, and what is a Renegade? I mean, for the
Renegade
know.
It was just getting thrown without like any official backing, so people just showed up, which was kind of how it originally started, anyways. So
where was Renegade on
the same place?
And for those who don't know, what's the name of the place?
Black Rock Desert in northern Nevada.
Okay. Interesting, because I mean, I've always just heard it called La Playa a bunch.
Yeah, it's La Playa, but it's in Black Rock Desert.
Okay. Decent, I guess. For those who don't know, and you mentioned, you told me the number this morning, which I was a little surprised about. Generally speaking, how many people pull up to Burning Man?
I think capacity is 80,000 people. Last year, I think there were only like 70,000 though.
That's a full, like, football SEC football stadium. That's a decent amount of folks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess what are some basic rules about Burning Man? I guess if you had to encapsulate things.
I mean, there's the principles of Burning Man. I'm gonna put on the spot now. There's like decommodification,
defund the police, anal beads, like
decommodification, radical self-reliance, radical inclusion, radical self-expression, communal effort. Leave no trace.
Leave no witnesses.
Fucking missing some.
I heard the radicals twice, please.
It's a lot of radical shit. And I think I'm missing something.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean,
it's
interesting. You mentioned the self-reliance and kind of what you bring. You bring everything for the weekend, and when you leave, you take everything.
Bring everything for the week or 2 weeks.
And it's it's just interesting because it's like, I don't know. I think as I've gotten deeper into some of these scenes and the electronic scenes, I'm seeing kind of not the appreciation of art, but appreciation of art in a different manner than I think the major music and media and some of these major industries have gotten by. And it's like, this shit's kind of not a DIY, but thrusting yourself into a DIY world. And so, I mean, what takeaways have you learned from Burning Man? What's it taught you about life?
I mean, that there's a lot of people that work hard and play hard, and honestly, the big thing is it kind of inspired me for the future. It made me a lot less grim about the way that things are going and the environment and the economy and all that shit. And
why is that? What did it?
Yeah, it's just the people I was interacting with and running into kind of just, gave me hope for the future. I was like, things are going to be all right. There's a lot of smart people out there doing a lot of great things, and, a lot of them kind of meet up there and are united on those principles.
No, and it's interesting. I mean, I guess from... Who are these people? Who are these people you meet at a Burning Man? Obviously, you look
just
like
Scott and Jerry.
Scott and Jerry. Just two dudes, man. But I mean, it's like, I guess when you mentioned there, I won't say there's like a lawlessness, but you go in there and it's kind of like a playground law where like some kids come in and assert themselves as the mayor of the playground, and then they run things on the monkey bars, and then someone's got the swings and.
Yeah.
All that
There is a lot of gang activity at Burning Man.
Gang.
Yeah. It's like East Side, West Side, basically after the 6.
When you were telling me...
The 6 is like 6 o'clock road is a major war zone for like drive-bys and stuff. People will put a lot of LSD into like water, like super soakers, and they'll like shoot it at each other and dose them and stuff. So police have to like heavily survey.
Are there police at Burning Man?
Oh yeah, there's a fuck ton of police at Burning Man. Burning Man, I would say, is probably one of the most heavily surveyed places in,
where are they?
Yeah.
Are they are they walking in and out of like car lines or?
Well, they have their cars driving around and patrolling to make sure people aren't getting too wild or anything like that. But also there's like, it's federal land, so there's not really any open drug use. A lot of people think it's like a huge drug festival, but if they see you doing drugs, they will nab you.
Well, it's like, not see you doing drugs, but it's like, I mean, if I pulled out like a eighth of mushrooms in my pocket and just started eating in a crowd,
if
like,
they you eating it, they'd nab you.
How easily do you get seen doing some of these things? Like,
people get arrested all the time.
Wow.
All the time. And there's a lot of undercover cops there, and it was interesting. This past year, I actually spotted a couple, my first 2 undercover cops, and I was like, it was interesting. But they were both dressed very similarly, but it was 2 different women. But
what were they like? I mean,
it's all things just to, like,
did you put like a dunce cap on them, or like you just like go whisper to all your friends like, yo, go tell them they're ugly or something, like.
Yeah, well, no, I just, told a couple of my friends, I was like, hey, look, I think that chick's a cop. And then they were all really high, so they're like, oh, cool. And then, we just...
What were the cops doing? Were they just, like, dancing, having a good
They
time?
were kind of going through and just surveying, and then, like, some of them dance. Like, I mean, those, like, say, most of the cops, as soon as they're off, they'll, like, take off all their clothes and start partying with everyone else, or they'll like put on their costumes. One of the rules of thumb, it's like a lot of the cops have been there longer than you have, and they're like, you would not be able to tell that they're not burners, because a lot of them, are burners. They're cops.
When is that? I mean, when they take off their uniforms, are they getting super soaked with that acid water, or what happened? Like,
I was just kidding about that. People don't really. I mean, people
well,
probably.
Yeah, but like, I guess,
that,
I mean, that being said, what do the cops do when they're there at Burning Man? Like, are you just, are they running around
making
dancing
sure
at shows and shit or something,
or fights, making sure people
but like
aren't doing
if they're not
anything dangerous,
if
or
they're not
hurting or stealing, or
but like if they're, I mean, so I guess, and I assume it's like any festival security where like you get like 8 hours on, like 16 off or something.
I have no fucking idea.
But like even then, it's like if you go and like are they?
I mean, are the cops going in like dropping acid? Probably
that's my question.
Not. Maybe. I'm sure that there's a lot of cops that do drop acid and eat mushrooms and stuff there just because it's like not gonna show up on your test. MDMA would, coke would, short term, and marijuana.
Oh yeah. And I'm curious, honestly, if
but
that's
not
like
a lot of
prerequisite.
Smoke weed, anyways, especially out there, just because it's like a dead giveaway and it's federal land. So
yeah. Well, but I'm just like once you clock out for your shift, it's the last day. You're like, fuck it, man. Like I'm just gonna eat a tab real quick. Like that'd be the perfect place to do it, especially if you not know you can get away with it, but like you're gonna be clocked out. I'd say like. One of there's like an honor code. There probably definitely is an honor code for them. That like any shit that happens here doesn't leave the fucking burn. Like, but even then, it's still just like that's.
Dude. Yeah. You'll have to ask.
Well, it's like they go.
Just make sure you don't have anything on you.
No, 100%, dude. 100%. That was a wild one. One of our friends fucking at Okeechobee. I shouldn't even say our friend. This guy we met and was an acquaintance of. I don't even really remember his name, but he ended up taking 2 tabs of acid and doing a little bit of Molly and went full psychosis night 1. And so we were like crisis management kind of coaxing him, and then eventually we got him into a safer area of this field, but like we had to give the security to get him to chill out. And like,
this is the dude you were telling me about?
Yeah, dude, and it was a wild one, but like I mean in one of those situations it's like they got him to chill out and then released him, but it's like those are, I don't even know, I forgot where I was going with that, honestly. Something about them partying and, I don't know, dude. This is one of those things, I mean, first things first, you gotta control yourself in the situations, but then, I don't know, the feds will sweep.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going into any, like, especially like a public party environment, like a festival, and you're gonna go, it's cool to like, trip, as hard as you want, trip balls, get fucked up if you want, but when you're getting to that point where you're making your friends now take care of you, they can't enjoy the party, then that is lame. You're probably gonna stop getting invited to stuff, or your friends are just not gonna be enjoying themselves nearly as much every time.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, not indecent. So I guess you've been a self-proclaimed alleged comedian.
Don't say self-proclaimed, dude.
I mean, it's like, well, I mean, obviously, it's not self-proclaimed. You're doing shows.
I don't like that. You're like, you were self-proclaimed as you're thinking.
I'm a
like,
self-proclaimed
right,
podcast.
anyways,
I already know what I was gonna try and
self-proclaimed comedian. I will. I'll vibe with that. I thought you were gonna say something other kind of fucking. Like you said, shaman at the beginning. I'm like, chill fuck out.
No, I was shifting a little bit, but comedian. And I guess originally it was self-proclaimed doing stand-ups and stuff, and then once you moved out west, you did do some good shows, and then I've seen you bump around a little bit, but I guess any epic or memorable moments from jumping into the comedy world from when you started?
No.
Okay. And then I guess, I mean, I guess like, and have you ever? What's the biggest venue you've ever performed at?
Probably the Comedy Store main room. I think. Burning Man, but
no, and that's.
Yeah.
I mean, once you find your niche, definitely that crowd. I think you're telling me likes it, and they work well in that situation, opposed to being at like a Comedy Store and there's a bunch of people coming in there to see some big names.
At Burning Man this one time there was they were doing a karaoke with a live band, and I was waiting for this dude. We had been hanging out like some lemonade thing. We got squeezed like the lemon, or go pick out your own lemons or some shit to make lemonade. Anyways, we go back to his camp. They're doing this live band karaoke, and we're about to go to some place to get bacon. And he's like, give me a second, I'm gonna go to my tent. I'm like, cool. And I walk up, and I'm like, I'm gonna see if they can play Fly Me to the Moon. And if they can, I'm gonna tell jokes over this. And they always say when you're like starting out doing comedy, like, don't ever do jokes, don't ever do stand up during the day, don't ever do it outside, don't ever do it in front of kids, because like all those things will like lessen the impact of the laughter coming back. You know, people are less likely to cuss if you're saying inappropriate shit around their kid, or they're less likely to laugh if you're cussing around their kid and stuff. And
they can see things.
Yeah. They feel like they're more visible, so they're less likely to laugh because they don't feel like as hidden and shit. Anyways, then you're like not riding off that energy and shit. And most of the time, I don't like to make eye contact with people. I just stare at their foreheads. And so, when I was there, because I went to see if they could play "Fly Me to the Moon," and I opened their book, and the first song was "Because I Got High," and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I asked them if they could play that. Yeah,
a band.
Live band, and they had been singing along, and I was like, I want you guys to play "Because I Got High," but don't sing along. I want to like do my own like thing. I'm gonna like freestyle. And they were like, all right. The dude's like, we have some, I guess like a special spoken word request. And I was like, oh, it's perfect. The dude doesn't know what I'm about to do. And then they started like doing like boom, boom. I'm like, do you guys sing choruses like ketamine as much as we do? And it was just like perfect. And I just pull out all those drug jokes and shit and because it was outside, I had to actually make eye contact with people to like see if they were enjoying it. Like a bunch of people were smiling. After I got off, that was like one of the better feelings. Like everybody was like jumping up and shit. Because it could have gone really bad. Typically doing stand up after like music sucks, but because the band was playing with, I felt like it kind of balanced the energy.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's it's an interesting thing, but I've noticed what genre crowd would you say the Burners are? Because I found, generally speaking, it's a very inclusive.
Alt-right Republican.
All right. But it's like when they get into these zones of being in that burn mode, it becomes this like almost super inclusive.
You remember that dude from the January 6th insurrection? Like wearing the fucking yak hat? Really popular burner, and there's a lot of people like him, and most of the people at the insurrection actually were burners.
So this is Petunia, by the way.
Petunia was also at the January 6th insurrection.
She loves insurrection.
Petunia is the one that shot on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
She's my new kitten. And so now, for those who don't know, I have 2 kittens and myself. Yes, ma'ams, you're so good.
But we're taking applications, ladies.
No, we are. There's a application process to be a suitor of mine. I've thought about doing a bachelor series.
Oh, yeah?
For me, because I am still single at this moment. If I just like got like 5 to 10 applicants and did a game show of them competing for my love, then for me just to have some type of controversy at the end with the girl that wins and be like, oh, I'm actually gay or something.
You produce the whole show, and at the end it's like you're about to choose a winner, and you like choose the girl, and she's like, oh my god, we're so happy, and then like Martin walks up and like, and now Ray, you need to make the decision between Brittany and Spock's and Kirkland frozen corn dogs. I was gonna say hot dogs, but
now fucking Bubba's Burgers.
Unlimited
Bubba's for life.
In case of Bubba's Burgers, you'd be like, fuck. I should be like, what the hell? Honestly, babe, I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna have to go for the Bubba's.
It's an interesting one. I mean, I don't know what's
that was real. You fucked me on the 3rd episode. It's Hollywood, baby.
It's part of the business, show business.
That's Richmond, baby.
But no, man, it's a wild world we live in. I guess. Do you have any? What's your love life like right now, Steven? What are you feeling it out on the West Coast?
I've got 3 cats. Lucille is I don't mean to brag, I do pretty well for myself. Lucille is the mama cat, and then I have Steven Belkowski and Mr. Meowgie.
Okay. Yeah, how long have you had the cats?
The Meowski and Meowgie were born July of 2022.
Okay.
And then Lucille I got in 2020, like November.
Yeah. Cats Over Dogs, comedy, Burning Man, 7'5", trying to think if there's anything I wanna touch with you, Steve.
That's pretty much it.
Anything?
How's your dating life going? Do you want to go outside of you wanting to do a game show?
Honestly, and
When was the last time you had sex?
it's funny 'cause, like, it's always at first I always want to like hide these answers. I guess.
Honestly, dude, sometimes
Well, so let me
there's
say
such a
this,
thing
like,
as being too public with your shit.
No, for sure, and especially for how clouded up I am. We're under 2,000 followers. We're not big at all. We're not. This is, I wouldn't say like exposing myself, but like no, I don't know. I hooked up with this girl. I guess like I didn't end up fucking, but we went to like second, third base, whatever you wanna map that out as. We went farther than just making
Which
out.
one's third base?
I went downtown. I guess you would say, if that's where we're going with this. But then that was
You laid down a butt.
that was last week.
You got the easy
And
on the base.
then it's interesting because like I'm single, and now I found that I'm in one of the most ready to mingle portions of my life where I'm
Yeah.
actually like going out and trying my shot with random people. And so like I went to Zed's. There's this tease, this little ginger girl's running around.
Oh, fucking gingers.
And then I shot my shot respectfully, and then she said, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," and I was like, "All right."
What was her full name?
But then I was just like, "Yeah, man, like it's so interesting because I have learned a little bit what people want attention or certain things, and then I've also learned. I would say like,
are you gonna clip that part and fucking post it just so like?
well, and all things like that girl is real interactive with my stuff right now, which is hilarious to me because like I usually give people my personal Instagram. Lately, I've been giving girls Everybody Eats Instagram because that's where I'm more active. And so if they're gonna DM me,
Yeah, everybody eats,
But
especially
then
Ray. You know what I'm saying?
I was geeked because like I gave her this, and then she's been liking all my stories and all this stuff, and then I would be geeked. But no, I'm single. I'm eating. I'm in a curious mode where like I'll text some of these girls that aren't. I don't say I'm particular, but I kind of like chill people, not like girls that are little wild children.
You should start throwing swinger parties here, calling it Everybody Eats Out. Where it's like a potluck. You're like, yeah, you like tell somebody like, yo, y'all are grabbing like the peanuts. Y'all like grab fucking some TGI Fridays
I have
out
like masquerade masks when you walk.
Everybody rolls. It's an underwear party, but it's also a potluck. Yeah.
Gravy everywhere.
Fucking
Every 30 minutes, some person just comes around and pours gravy on everyone.
Gonna be like you, Mark, and Park.
Jerry, the old homeless guy. Nah, dude, it's wild because like I've had some interesting endeavors.
Oh, man, pouring gravy on me.
Jerry, shout out.
That's fucking alright. Anyways,
But no, I mean, I'm a lover, not a fighter, so I've learned to not chase, and that's been a big.
I treat women like cats. Let them come up to you.
No, and it's crazy to
Shout out
say that
cats.
because like Glory is a lover. One cat is a lover. Petunia is not a lover at all. So you really gotta kind of trick her into.
Yeah, you gotta force it on Petunia.
Nah, well, I know my hours, and she has a routine of like in the morning and the evening, she wants my attention to get food, and so I level that out. But it's like, you know, I want to do that with women, but like, you know, when they want your attention, and then like when they don't want it, you gotta
take
kind of hide.
advantage of those moments.
But no, it's an interesting thought. I'm becoming an adult. I'm like reaching that portion where I want to settle down, but like I'm like I could see it eventually in the next 5 years.
I'm becoming an adult too. Probably in the next 20 years. Probably.
When could you see yourself having kids, raising kids? At this moment, I can't. I'm way too young.
Yeah,
personally.
I don't know. My brother's 2 years older. He's got 5 kids. You know, my one sister, she had kids at like 23, and like her thing was like, you're not really ready. You just kind of get ready once you get thrown into.
Oh, for sure. But that's where I think some of this is like, and I had a long conversation with someone this weekend about it, but it's like, I personally love the lack of responsibility, being single and being able to run around and stuff. Once you get a girlfriend or a wife, fiance, a partner, there's a certain amount of responsibility to them. Once you get a kid, you're like not tied down, but then they're just, you know, you are caring for a life form that does not know how to care for itself.
Yeah.
And is inclined to do things that are stupid for itself,
Yeah.
if anything.
But I think at that point it just comes down to picking the right partner to have a kid with, so you don't end up with one of those like really shitty 6-year-olds. So also, I'm pro-choice through age 9, but I believe that after birth it should become the father's decision. And before that, it's all the mom. It's like her body, her choice. After the baby's out, it's fucking dad's man in the house. He makes a call. Are we keeping the kid or not? You know, misbehave? Do I need to go down to Unplanned Parenthood? Fucking.
At this point, I'd like to remind you that none of these opinions are. We do not encourage any of this. We are not liable. This is all educational and community purposes. You see the fine print below. That releases the liability. But no, it's interesting you say that because I think that emphasis. One of the most weighted things I've learned about in life is I think the 4 seasons of a person in a relationship. And it's like you have happy and sad, which are controlled, and then you have excited and disappointed, which are reactions to situations. And I think you don't know someone until you've seen all 4 of those seasons. And it's like,
Oh, damn, dude, you must have read Attached or something.
but I had parents that had big trauma and I just dove into it, but I was like, this is kind of crazy to see. Not that it didn't get along, but like, one was a partier and one was more religious. So there are certain seasons that got along, but like, I'm very deep into, I don't know, like, caring about someone if I'm able to see more of their seasons and how they react. I know they're chill, not year round, but like I can handle certain things. I don't know. I don't say really, like I found myself being somewhat of like a therapist in some extent. People kind of just like come at me with some of their more wild things, and I'm not weighted or anything, but I have a good patience meter on me to give people some good info sometimes. I feel like, I don't know, could be allegedly, but shit, Steven, cheers. I haven't seen it in a while, bro.
To the economy. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
No, I mean,
Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
Feliz cumpleaños. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Madre de Dios.
I just, you know.
Tú tienes un pequeño perro caliente.
Mi huevos. No, man, it's
Me gusta.
it's a wild one. I think of all things, it is. Ooh, it's about that time, Steven.
What time is it?
4 o'clock.
Oh, really? No, I'm fucked. Alright, let's go to the airport.
We are wrapping it up. That is Everybody Speaks and Everybody Eats production, episode 5. Steven Belkowski, what you need, baby?
What? No, I'm about to leave. Alright,
Yeah.
bye guys.
Rip it.